Alright, welcome to the Meat Races Museum. Let's make this fast.
Yeah, more importantly than that, what are your opinions on cranberries? Because I could, you know, I really don't like cranberries all that much.
There's so much
zombies
shit.
Okay?
There's so much shit that my palate is adjusted to with age that, like, I never liked before. Black coffee, you know, like hoppy beer. And I keep waiting for it to be cranberry juice. Okay. I keep waiting for it to be cranberry juice's turn. Like, sooner or later, I'm gonna, like, have amassed enough maturity points that I'm just, like, I drink cranberry juice and I'm like, I'm glad.
Okay, hold up. Have you ever had it on a sandwich with all of your Thanksgiving leftovers?
Okay. That's a good use of cranberry. I can accept that.
You know what?
Like the cranberry gelatin thing that we call cranberry sauce, but it's like solid and it comes out of a can. That's good.
I don't fucking make that. No, I make fresh cranberry sauce. And then the next day, you put it on your bread like fucking jam, add a piece of turkey, add some stuffing, mashed potatoes, a little gravy. You got yourself a really awesome sandwich.
Elizabeth is trying to make us use the carbine.
Slate, you need to because the snipers. You need to counter snipe them.
Okay. Yeah.
I like how Elizabeth's just like, hey, Booker, found this gun! Thanks. Let me just, like, yeet it to you out of a fucking, like, Gravitron slingshot.
Just hits you in the face.
So we now have to snipe.
Oh man, that reminds me. Can I quickly just say, my husband had a lawn con. When we first started dating, he would act like he couldn't catch anything. Like, I've seen him literally juggle before, but he would act like anytime I threw something at him, he would, like, take it, like, as a body shot. And then, like, 6 years into our relationship, I, like, jokingly threw something at him, expecting him to just get hit by it, and he, like, grabbed it with one hand and looked at me, and he's like, I always knew how to catch.
The thing I like about that is that there's so much premeditation and malice, and yet not only is it, like, not malicious, it literally does not have a point. Like, there is no actual... Like,
there's joy on both sides. On one side, I gotta hit him with stuff. On the other side, he's been great at catching stuff this whole time.
It was like a light Yagami, like Xanato's Gambit, for nothing.
Yeah, that's what he's all about. It's the best.
God. Like, Elizabeth is such a band-aid from a game design perspective. They just use her to balance out these combat encounters so badly.
Hey, stop running away. Is that the ammo that I wanted?
Yeah, so, like, for context, you know, when you lose a fight in this game, you just, like, respawn and come back at it, like, basically with it still in progress. And, like, there's no real way to, like, get past fights or, like, to outthink people. You kind of just have to muscle through them with weapons and powers that all do direct damage. And because you have a limited number of the resources that it takes to do all this stuff, and because they didn't balance any of it well, because if you lose, like, you have to go back into the combat and you can't be just left with your wrench, they just have Elizabeth, like, occasionally give you some of whatever you need most at any given time, and it feels so insulting.
Well, it's insulting, but it also makes the fights feel even worse, right? Like, the combat feels bad to begin with. But then on top of that, whether you live or die is mostly up to whether the RNG decides Elizabeth is going to throw you health or ammo or whatever you need. Because sometimes it just doesn't, and you just die. Other times, it's exactly what you need when you need it, and then you get to keep playing, but you didn't do that. The game decided to let you live. And then when you do die, you just come right back, and it's just the continued war of attrition. Nothing has changed, other than you're more frustrated now.
Like, to be clear, that's the insulting part. Like, having a support NPC is not insulting. Like, having a healer or somebody who provides you the resources. But it's something that is just, like, completely out of your control. It's like, imagine if you're playing a JRPG and the party healer is, like, not in your party. It's just a random NPC that, like, if the game senses you're not doing well, is like, whoa there, buddy. Looks like you need, some arrows. And you're like, well, actually, I was thinking I was gonna, like, flank them. Here's some arrows so you can do the bow stuff now. And you're like, fucking, okay.
Oh my god, we're too short of the crow's trap aid. $2.
Do you use the traps?
Sometimes.
Traps
well, I don't use
fun.
the traps, but this makes the corpses become traps. Although Devil's Kiss might be better.
Did you use the traps?
They're good in confined spaces. The traps are good in confined spaces. I'll give it that.
There are.
This just makes traps of people who die. So
do they die of the crows? But do the traps work against handymen? I know they do damage, but like you can't levitate a handyman, can you?
That's a great question.
Let's go ahead and see what Devil's Kiss aid looks like.
So I've been thinking about this game, unfortunately, but I've also been thinking about Bioshock, which is somewhat more palatable. And one thing I realized that's kind of interesting is that, like, and I think that there's, like, something about this is, like, a deliberate difference. This isn't really criticism, just an observation. The way this game introduces its plasmids, basically, its vigors, and the way Bioshock introduces plasmids are kind of humorously different. Where Bioshock is very much like, oh, this is like a fireball plasmid, you can use that to light your cigarette. Oh, here's a freezing plasmid, you can use that to add some ice to a cocktail. Here's a bee plasmid, you can, I don't know, fucking whatever. But this game is just like, here's a fire plasmid, fuck people up. Here's some crows you can fuck people up with. Here's a devil, they fuck people up. Bucking Bronco, fuck them up off the sky.
Oh my god, so many swears.
So, I have a question here. Something I've been thinking about. So this game kind of does the like, oh, the founding fathers were actually kind of shit. But the thing I'm wondering is, do you think that the way that's meant to be taken is, oh, actually, you know, George Washington, you know, maybe not the greatest dude ever. I mean, he owned slaves and he protected slavery and, like,
I don't think
they didn't free the slaves? Or do you think this is like, oh, these guys are crazy because they think the founding fathers would be totally on their side?
Definitely that one. Like, if they thought about it at all, that was, like, the level you're thinking about it on, isn't it? Like, hyper-patriotic people love American heroes. I wonder why. Actually, no, I don't. Never mind. Let's play the video game.
I mean, this gets to what we were talking about before we started recording a bit, I think, right? Like, the internal politics of Colombia don't necessarily make a ton of sense, because, like, it is a world obsessed with America's past and Americana, but it also is something that split from America very intentionally. And how do you end up with, like, Comstock as sort of a autocrat in charge of something that also celebrates democracy and America? And we could have a conversation about America's not really democracy or whatever, but the point is, like, how do you have literally that figurehead here? It doesn't make any sense.
Are you honestly telling me that if, like, certain high-profile Republican populist politicians who are treated as prophets by their followers wanted to secede certain states from the Union because we have drifted from the vision of the Founding Fathers and create a megalotopia, that anybody would see a contradiction there?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is, like the reason we can talk about America not being a real democracy is, like, it was really not designed as a popular democracy. Like,
okay,
you know,
I'm just gonna come out and say it, like, in case this is clear. I think that this game has very little to say, but the basic premise of Colombia as, like, a thing, like, basically, I think it checks out. Like, I don't think that they miss, like, in conceiving this. I don't think that they had any fundamental misconceptions or illusions about, like, the ideologies that would create a society like this. I think that more or less it tracks. I think that they, like, didn't have anything to do with this grim homunculus once they constructed it. I think that they just kind of, like, made it dance in a gruesome mockery of life and have us shoot it a bunch. But sure, like, yeah, good homunculus, bro.
Keep you stocked with both bandages and ammo, but...
All right, this is the racist part of the racist museum. We're going to try to do this real fast.
Yeah. So you can choose your own
which
racist
one you wanna go-
which racism we want to see first.
Which racist pavilion?
All right, let's do Boxer.
Yeah, okay.
Oh boy.
What happened there?
So yeah, what kind of... Yep, okay. Racist jump scare. Racist jump scare.
This is
Very frightening.
this is some shit. Let's go here. Employees only. All right.
So what's happening? Just so we can keep moving through this as fast as possible, is that Slate is talking to us and telling us about how much he's mad at Comstock for lying about being at these places, and how you are a real soldier who's going to give his men an honorable death. I don't get the impression these men have a lot of interest in that. They're just framed as sort of mindless murder machines.
Yeah.
It feels very like we needed combat and we didn't trust the audience. Like, here's what this feels like. This feels like we needed to have this, exposition, and we didn't want to just have it in an audio log. So we made this level that's basically exposition the level that shows you these scenes. And then we wanted you to fight something, so I don't know, there's a guy that's upset with Comstock because of tin soldiers that show up later in the game. The end. Like
So the actual history involved here, because this game doesn't explain it like super well, although you do sort of get the point, is, I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but the short version is that like a bunch of Western countries were trying to like carve up China as an imperialist trophy, and there was a rebellion against that pulled in a whole, like, if you go to the belligerent section, it's a whole lot of fucking countries against basically just people in China who did not want to put up with this shit anymore. And in the Bioshock Infinite universe, this was like Columbia's time to go, fuck you, no, imperialism forever, that is our deal.
Well, it predates Columbia, right? This is something Comstock supposedly did as part of the American Army before Columbia existed.
There's something like, I wonder if they changed this, if I'm misremembering it, but like in the version of history, like in the Columbia history, like the first appearance of Columbia was them suppressing something, like them like defending some imperialist action. Yeah.
Wounded knee. He means us to head to the other display.
Can you hear Comstock's tin soldiers coming to silence us? But we are
I have nothing interesting to say about any of this shit.
Yeah, this guy really is going on.
Yeah, I mean... Yep, Colombian forces intervened without orders from the U.S. government and destroyed the city of Peking. Which is just Beijing. I don't know why they wrote Peking here. I guess because it's historical thing.
Was it known as Beijing at the time? Oh boy.
I'm actually not clear on like if it's just a matter of romanization. I think it's just a romanization.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably true. Oh man, they're really hitting all the buttons with this.
You know, Chris is right. This is shorter than I remember. This felt like it took like 2 hours to do, but I guess it's faster than that.
No, once you get out of this room, and it's another stupid fight, but after that we go to the history of Columbia itself. And yeah, this is all super racist, but we'll get out of here soon enough.
with you and cry with ashes red.
You were there. That wounded knee. I can see it.
Just more of Slate's dudes that are like, "Rar, I'm gonna get you because my boss told me to, and that makes me a good soldier."
Heroes of Sparta.
It's really dumb.
Do you think they've been cooped up in this museum? And for how long? And are they starving?
I don't think they're starving, but it was implied that they've been there for a while, but not a ridiculously long while.
Who's
Like, I want to say a matter of days.
Oh, okay, that's not so bad.
I was thinking like,
I mean,
snack bar.
months.
Yeah, I mean, the issue of food in Colombia is kind of like a whole thing.
Yeah, I don't see any farms. I've not seen a farm yet, so I assume they.
Was that our first Booker catch?
Yep. What do they eat? Racism. Well, no, the first Booker Cash was... Oh, do you mean the first time she literally said the words Booker Cash?
Yes.
I think she might have actually said that was the marksman rifle at the beginning.
Eat fireballs.
So, just to talk about something other than racism, Rutskarn had described earlier how much he hates the sound design of combat in this game, and I agree, having played it recently, it's just a din of obnoxiousness. But I do like the sound design of the not that bits. Like, I was listening to some of the phonograph recordings, the audio logs, and I love the passes they do to make it sound like all the highs and lows have been removed, so there's not a lot of bass and there's not a lot of tinny bits to it. It just sounds really cool with all that noise added in.
You let them die like men.
Yeah, it's not great.
No, it's cool. I like it.
Heroes
Oh,
never.
Booker didn't ask for this.
Never claimed to be no hero.
And what are you?
Isn't it cool how Deus Ex Human Revolution just like removed the phrase from the English language?
What's left?
So,
Come back.
I'm a little lost, having read the article that Rutskarn was talking about, when the timelines split.
What did Slate?
I don't think it's worth thinking too hard about.
What did you try to erase?
I'm sure it doesn't make any sense.
Is it a
but
shirtless Comstock?
I no the
Choice is better than
yes, that is a shirtless. No, wait, this is
No.
that's a Native American. Was this guy shirtless back here?
No, he wasn't.
No.
Unfortunate.
I just thought that would be funny.
I don't know if it's that unfortunate.
Is there anything funny in this game?
when you get hit by a book in the opening, when Elizabeth hits you for the first time, the book she's
like
holding
fucking
is the
stuff.
fundamentals of quantum mechanics, which was cute. That's a cute bit of foreshadowing.
Where do you suppose he's pulling all these people from?
So now the racism bit is over, and we get the weird hagiography of Elizabeth's mom.
Yeah. She's my favorite part of this game, because she's real spooky.
I thought you were going to say
Ghost,
she
Mom,
was dead.
Ghost, Mom.
The seed of the prophet lay in the womb of Our Lady, but for a single week. Comstock had a child.
Lady Comstock and the Miracle
My
Child.
books never mention anything about a child.
Lady Comstock and the Miracle Child sounds like a heartwarming, like award-winning children's book that warms no hearts but does win lots of awards.
And Our Lady prayed
It sounds like a Smashing Pumpkins album. I don't even listen to Smashing Pumpkins, but the fact that I know
I know
that
who
band,
Smashing Pumpkins is.
that just means you're old too.
It's my tower.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
The lead singer is currently in fucking pro wrestling, doing all kinds of promotions. He sucks.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh no!
He sucks a lot.
So Daisy's responsible for Ghost Mom?
Daisy?
Yeah, supposedly.
Who, Daisy?
I can't.
Oh.
Daisy
that's
killed.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But that doesn't mean I'm gonna get one.
Okay, so this is the thing I don't get. You don't make a statue of your nemesis who's still alive. Like, you just don't. You don't do that.
Actually, I don't think Fitzroy's in this thing.
No, she is. She is. I just remembered. I thought you'd already
is she?
gotten there. That's why I said
It's
that.
here, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
right
okay,
here.
yeah. What the fuck?
Like, you don't make a representational, literal statue of an enemy who's still at large. That's like statues 101. Just that can't happen. You don't make a wax figure of like also Lee Harvey Oswald getting ready to shoot JFK if Lee Harvey Oswald's still chilling somewhere, planning to shoot the next one also.
This once again makes me question the timeline of events, because Daisy Fitzroy is still out there doing stuff, but it's implied that Elizabeth's mom died when she was a kid.
Yeah,
Right?
when
I
she
mean, that's why we
was,
just
like,
saw an infant.
like almost immediately afterwards. Although again, this is not what actually happened. So
That's true.
How-
We'll find the details.
How old
later.
is Daisy supposed to be? I always assumed it was like early 30s because there's no middle-aged women in video games, but
It's true.
I think she's 30s or maybe early 40s. Like
There's
Not
one hot
young.
mom in Dragon Age. She's real. And a
Win?
dragon. Also
Oh,
win.
Morgan.
And also Janeway, Kate Mulgrew.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. She dragged.
Oh no, a gate.
There's Lady D.
But you're too broad.
Yeah, the statement there are no middle-aged women in video games is become incorrect. Fortunately, within like the past, I want to say 4 or 5 years.
They were gonna put one
yeah.
in Left 4 Dead 2, but then they're like, no.
I don't. It's still too early 2000s Valve for that. Let's not.
Yeah.
2010.